You're listening to Barry Burnett on Investing Insights with Barry Burnett here on Talk Radio 790 KABC. And we're talking to our spectacular special guest, Allison Salibian, who happens to be my daughter and was raised in the real estate business, classically trained in science, but still a realtor.
That's right.
Now, Allison, realtor, what is that?
Well, the difference between a realtor and a licensee is that the realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and their local board of realtors. It's a privilege and an honor to be a realtor. It gives you a level of professional code of ethics that you are absolutely required to follow, not only by the Department of Real Estate, but by your local board and the national board.
And I've had a little experience in that as well. As a matter of fact, I was the youngest state director for the California Association of Realtors in the entire history of the state of California Association of Realtors, going back well over 100 years. I started in the real estate business when I was 19, and I was asked to be a state director while I was 19, before I even turned 20.
Wow, that's amazing. I remember seeing pictures. Certainly I wasn't around then. But also, I was pleased that while my brother and I were in high school, you were the president of the local Association of Realtors in Burbank and had served so well on several committees, the least of which was the legislative committee that both you and I served on.
Yes.
I wasn't ever the president of the local board, but I certainly was on the legislative committee and the chairperson for quite a while.
Well, you did a lot of excellent work, and you still do. And as a mom, you're doing the most important work. So you're investing your life into my grandkids. I love that. That's the sweet spot. Now, what happens when somebody has a real estate investment portfolio and they've got the day-to-day stuff? Well, we have to talk about operation and maintenance of
That's
a
right.
well-run portfolio. So as a realtor, we can speak into and advise on operation and maintenance of a well-run real estate portfolio, but we've got a little deeper background, haven't we?
That's right.
I've had the privilege of building all or part of 450 houses from scratch out of 17 pieces of farmland.
Right, in different regions of the United States.
Yeah, and naming streets and still being able to go back and be invited into the kitchens and having dinner. But in operating and maintaining, we've done a lot of rehabs, starting over resets for properties, and there's every kind of property. Is there different operation and maintenance for commercial property than there is for apartments?
You know, yes, certainly we've got with commercial property, sometimes the operation and maintenance the onus is on the tenant.
Isn't that sweet?
Oh, it's lovely, actually. Triple net and net leases are fantastic.
Okay, what are they net of? They're net of paying property tax.
That's right.
And the responsibilities of maintaining the building. You don't have to replace roofs or sewer lines or heating and air conditioning units.
Right, and the insurance.
You don't even have to maintain the interior sprinkler systems or comply with ADA or stripe the driveway.
Right. And now, just thinking of all of those things, those are some amazing investments that you put your parents in and secured their future, their retirement. Just educating them on triple net and net leases. They were able to just to have peaceful retirements instead of managing and operating necessarily, although they enjoyed it, some large apartment buildings.
Well, let's talk about that. At one time, your grandparents had some large apartment buildings.
Right.
And they were hands-on.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was beating them up.
Yeah, it was tiring. Even for us, the grandkids, we'd have to go and do some maintenance too.
Absolutely. So what happened, I had to actually get in their faces.
That's right.
And I said, this is not the kind of way that you want to live your retirement life. So we exchanged from those apartments into triple net investments.
Right, absolutely. Saving them a lot in taxes, saving them a lot in heartache, and securing a better future for them. However, I mean, they certainly did enjoy you putting them into their apartment buildings. They enjoyed that as well.
And it served its purpose. It
They
lived
were
its
busy.
life, and then
That's
we
right.
made the shifts.
That's
As
right.
life progresses, don't we have to adjust our portfolios?
Absolutely.
So operating a portfolio while you're in the middle of it, while you're throwing with both hands.
That's right.
And trying to see what sticks on the wall, you need financial clarity, right?
Absolutely.
So if you run your own books, don't you have to be sure that you've got financial clarity about your management?
Sure.
And what about your bookkeeping and reports?
I mean, this is difficult. It's, if you're hands-on, that's a lot of hands that you're going to need.
You can do it yourself or you can delegate.
Sure.
Sometimes it's safer, cheaper, and smarter to do it yourself if you've got the right system. But some properties, they're just too embracing, too involved. If you're in the middle of a series of capital improvements, if you've got some significant rehabilitation or deferred maintenance going on, you may need to delegate some of these things. Well, our excellent cooperating partners will be tremendous advisors. And you can contact us at barryburnett.net, and we will introduce you to people who can assist you with your reporting cycles, your bookkeeping, your management, unless you wish to do it yourself. And then we can show you ways to streamline it and have your financial clarity so that you can sleep at night, so that you don't end up with too much month at the end of the money.
That's right.
Well, also, there's this little weird thing about financial clarity. You get quarterly reports that you have to file.
That's right.
Oh, boy. Do you file your own IRS, California, county compliance issues? Do you file your own, or is that stuff to delegate to your CPA or your enrolled agent? There are times you want to be able to just separate the issues, live your life, and let the professionals handle theirs.
That's right. Now, will you be talking about this more as weeks go on? This is riveting
Absolutely.
information. I'm full of questions right now.
Okay, but we're also going to talk about reserves for replacements.
Okay.
Because you're operating a portfolio, you've got roofs. They don't fix themselves. They do deteriorate. They have an expected life. There are things that happen like windstorms or tree limbs or clunky cable installers. Somebody may step through your roof, and guess what? You're going to have to replace a roof, or you better have some reserves for that, or electrical, or plumbing, or heating. HVAC. HVAC is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So you hear people toss around HVAC. Well, our HVAC went out. Well, it's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. You've got to have money for resolutions on your landscape, your sidewalks and driveways, restriping, glass. You've got to have somebody to look after your graffiti removal, because unfortunately that's a fact of life. When your mom and I were visiting your brother in Italy, it's amazing. Every graffiti covers every building, even the 2,500-year-old buildings. There's like, where's the respect?
That's right. It's just a way of life there, I suppose.
Well, it is here too, and so you better have a way of dealing with it.
That's right. Not to mention, Dad, if you've put people into triple net leases across the country. So if you're living in Southern California, but you can't seem to make one of those investments work here, you can put people across the country. Think about those hailstorms and those natural disasters sometimes that we don't necessarily anticipate out here. You've got to have reserves for those things.
And that's why we have excellent contacts with insurance brokers.
Absolutely.
And private insurance adjusters.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about capital improvements. What if you decide that you've got a property that needs to be hip and current?
Sure.
And it ain't. You need some reserves to be able to get a hold of that. Again, that goes back to finances.
That's right.
And do you have access to that? Well, we do, and we will connect you with that. And the amount set up for regular maintenance, regular inspections. What if you've been in the business and you've owned your portfolio and you know it like the back of your hand? Do you think you would still benefit from a second set of eyes?
That's right. That's right.
So you call in an inspector to come and look at your building, to look for the stuff you didn't see. Well, what if he finds mold?
Asbestos.
Or termites or
That's
dry
right.
rot? Well, that stuff really is upsetting. But that's not all. Because regular operation and maintenance of a portfolio, you get to comply with Government agencies. Government agencies. Well, golly. Do we have a few? And they all have initials. We have ADA, Compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. There are no excuses for your properties not to comply with Americans with Disabilities Act.
Absolutely.
You can make them all you want. You can justify all you want, but it's still the law. So we have specialists who can come to your portfolio and look it over for you. No charge, no responsibility, no obligation. Just
Really?
no charge.
That is
Just
amazing.
Get an idea, get a grip.
So do I need to look all over Google and try to find these people, or how would I get in touch? Okay.
Look all over Google for BarryBurnett.net.
That's right. BarryBurnett.net. Really the only real estate network you need, right?
I love it. So you've got ADA compliance, Americans with Disabilities Act. You've got OSHA and Cal OSHA. That's the Occupational Safety Hazards Administration. Then you've got city housing boards in the city of Los Angeles or the People's Republic of Santa Monica. You've got the County of Los Angeles. You've got earthquake condition. Do we have any earthquakes here?
Every once in a while.
Well, you don't have to build for hurricane standards.
That's right.
But we've actually had 12 tornadoes in Los Angeles and Orange counties in the last 5 years. Can you imagine? Water spouts that came on land. We also have wind shear conditions. So you better have your buildings looked at for compliance. Guess what else happens in compliance? Can you imagine we have new laws that come up?
No.
Oh. We also have to be sure that your buildings have the proper smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors for residences and air quality and water quality management districts. You can't breathe or move without having somebody tell you what to do. We can send you those compliance reports. This is a show that will have all of these and more. So if you want information on these things, you're listening now, you're scratching your head, or you're a competent, qualified, certified expert in these fields, and you want to come on the radio, contact us and let us know about that. If you want more information or you want to qualify and contact us, go on BarryBurnett.net. That's BarryBurnett.net. Register and ask for 8 Vital Protections, the white paper, 8 Vital Protections, and register for 2 sets of dinner for 2 at Malbec Restaurant, the restaurant of the month, Malbec Restaurant in Toluca Lake. Thank you very much for listening to your investment show, Investing Insights with Barry Burnett.